Hello, this is Emma of EmmaLiveYoga, and welcome to this Gentle Yin Yoga class. So you might use a blanket to keep yourself nice and warm. Also, I have a bolster here. If you have a bolster, you might want to grab that, or any sofa cushions or pillows that you might have. And also, you might need a couple of bricks. So we're going to really connect with breath and this gentle energy to soothe and unravel and restore. So we're going to begin by sitting nice and tall. And sitting comfortably, bring the hands to the center of the chest. And then take an inhale. Oh. And keeping the eyes closed, just rest the hands down to a comfortable place. And take these initial moments to observe how you're feeling in your body, to observe the flow of your thoughts, to observe the passing weather of the emotional landscape, and to begin to feel a deep, conscious connection with the breath as we embark on this journey of gentle yin yoga together to unravel and release deep tissues, connective tissues of not only the body but also the holding patterns of the mind. And then take a deeper breath in. Exhale, gently open the eyes. So we're going to begin with the only standing pose in the Yin Yoga Pantheon, which is called dangle or forward bend. So we're going to make our way through to a standing position. Come towards the back of the mat. Initially stand tall, just feel really grounded through the soles of the feet, but a softness through the knees. And then inhale, just float the arms up through space. Exhale, circle the arms back and down and just begin to gently fold forward. Dangle the arms forward like a rag doll. Take another inhale. Exhale, bend at the knees and just continue to roll down until you arrive in dangle. Now you might keep the back of the hands on the floor, or you may take hold of the forearms, the elbows. Deepen the breath as you relax the head, relax the neck. And just feel the weight tipping gently towards the toes. You might bring gentle side to side action to this. And just beginning to feel the back of the body releasing, relaxing. You might even close the eyes. So you can give yourself over to this gentle sway, feeling the sensations of the back of the body releasing and opening. From here, the inhale, you may bend the knees even more deeply. That's it. And then exhale, just straighten to your own measure. Continuing to dangle or sway. So we inhabit each yin yoga pose for a longer period of time, just to allow and accept, knowing that connective tissue takes longer to release than the quicker fibers of the muscles and muscular body. And similarly, the samskaras, the grooves in the record, the habitual thought patterns we've built up in the mind, also take many years of yoga practice to begin to erase, reset, reframe. We can just allow this journey of releasing, unbecoming, allow this to unfold. So final one, inhale, re-bend the knees, exhale, straighten once again, dangling, inhabiting And then from here, release the hands down. Inhale, gently look forward as you walk the hands forward. Exhale until you're able to bring the knees down and release the toes. Good. Bring in your bolster or whatever support you're using as we come to supported balasana. And on the exhale, knees either side, you can gently sink all the way down and rest either your forehead down or one ear down. Soften the shoulders and just feel the welcome support beneath. Maybe close the eyes. You may already feel that the breath is slowed down. And there is nowhere to be, nothing to do other than to inhabit the spaces of breath and body deeply connected. And if you're resting one ear down, just gently change sides. Softening, releasing, allowing. And then gently squeeze in the pelvic floor. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, just carefully lift up to about the halfway point. Pause there. Just have a little sway from side to side, nice and easy. Easing out. Easing out. And inhaling to center. Exhale. Inhale, again making your way up and just changing the position of your support. Good. So then from here, inhale, bring the forearms down in front of the bolster, slide the legs out behind you, and just rest the lower rib cage on top of the bolster as we come into supported Sphinx pose. And just check in with the breath. Make sure you can still breathe. If you need to shift the position of the bolster, either sliding forward or sliding back, just do that. And just feel that gentle stretch of the belly. So you have a slight activation here in the supported back bend. Feel an inhale, how it lifts the sternum up so you can feel an opening through the front body. If you feel you want to rest the weight of the head, you might take one of the bricks and bring the forehead to rest on the brick. Alternatively, you might bring the bricks to rest underneath the forearms and just elevate this Sphinx pose even more. Breathing, feeling, make sure that the glutes are soft. Good. Shoulders are releasing. Staying with the breath. And just allowing also the hip flexors to soften and open in this posture. And from here, inhale, coming off the support. You have that in front of you. Exhale. From here, just walk the elbows onto the bolster, bring the fingertips down. Squeeze the pelvic floor. Inhale. So you can carefully lever yourself up. Walk the knees in. And then exhale, sit back into Virasana. This neutralizes the back bend. Back onto the heels, hands to Anjali. No, you can come to high kneeling or sitting bones if this doesn't suit. And then just release the hands down. Inhale. Exhale, release the left ear towards the left shoulder. So just do a gentle neck release while we're here. That's it. You might bring the hands in just to help with this. So right hand on top of the right shoulder. Left hand on the side of the head. Just creating space as you breathe. Be aware that your belly may tighten here because of the tension you can feel. So just soften the belly, let the belly drop. And instead, just gently squeeze the pelvic floor. Good. To bring some movement to this, you can. Just moving the head slowly. In and out. Exhaling to come in. Inhaling to drift out. Make sure that you're not pressing with that top hand. And coming back to center, release the hands. Inhale, head back to center. Exhale over to the right side. Take a breath. Again, either stay here or bring in the hands. Just allowing the hands to eke out a little bit more space. Be aware of how the belly feels. Sometimes our stresses, our anxieties go into the belly when we release through the body, release through the mind. Again, no pressing. You may bring gentle movement to this. Inhaling to drift the chin out. Exhaling to draw the chin in. And then inhaling as you come back to center. Exhale, release. You might just move the head from side to side, or just do a few shoulder rolls, whatever feels restful. You might drop the chin forward, just easing out. So then from here, come back down to the sitting bones. Stretch the legs to a wider angle. You come into more of a straddle position. It doesn't have to be mega wide, just wider. And then bring in the bolster. And just have your bricks in if you need them. So you might begin on the inhale by just gently leaning forward and stacking the arms or the elbows onto the bricks, and just feel that initial opening through the lower back area. Good. Ankles can be relaxed. Again, you might just remove support and go a bit lower. So these are some of the options you can take. Deep breath in, deep breath out. You might bring the arms directly onto the bolster. Remember, we don't have any holding in yin. We can facilitate the forward bend by, again, just rocking sleepily, slowly, from side to side, as if the body was reeds swaying in the breeze. And that pampas grass, it moves with silvery sound in the breeze. And then as you come back to center, you may find that you went a little bit deeper. Just see, that's not the aim. The aim is just to feel a release. You might bring a support underneath the forehead, for example, in the lowest setting or a higher setting. So lots of different options. You may roll all the way down if that's suitable. Allow your back to round. Deepening the breath. No. You need to protect your hamstring or your knees. You can always bring bricks underneath the back of the knees. Hamstrings are particularly tight. That's a nice way to practice. Wherever you are, just surrendering, releasing. Allowing the eyes to close, softening. And allowing the breath to move through this gentle vessel. Resting one ear down, just change that to the opposite side. And allowing the waves of breath to travel up and down the spine. Few more breaths. And then squeeze the pelvic floor. Inhale as you slowly come up. Again, to about your halfway point, whichever option you've been taking. If you've been using bricks, remember to secure those with the hands before you come up. Take a moment, allow time to pause. And then squeeze again. Inhale as you slowly come back up. And exhale. Just move your bolster to one side for now. And then bring the legs back in. And just bring the knees, feet together. Just round the back, have a little squeeze in. You might bring the forehead to the knees. Or chin to chest. You might have a little sway from side to side. See how you feel. Good. And then from this position, just scooch forward. Bring your bolster behind you, right to the base of the lower back. And then have your bricks, bring your feet together. So you come to Supta Baddha Konasana. And just slide your bricks in wherever you need the support. So I need that underneath my thighs. It might be the knees. Just see where you need it. Bring the hands to the base of the bolster. Make sure your bolster is nicely straight. And then inhale, lift the chest, so gentle back bend. And then exhale, just begin to fold your way down. Keep going. A little bit of a fear factor here. It feels a little bit vulnerable. No, it's okay. But just make sure that your lower back remains on the floor. Take a deep breath here. If you have any back issues like myself, you might just keep your hands there a bit longer until you feel perfectly safe in your back, comfortable. I know this is a safe position, but sometimes with our back, psychologically, we can hold on. From this position, you can roll the palms of the hands open. Just begin to maximize the breath, feeling the front of the body opening as the back of the body begins to slowly surrender. Allow the breath to wash over the inner thighs and be aware of any gripping sensations, any grippings of the glutes that you might be able to release, any holding on. Now, if this feels too much, you can always bring the feet to the floor and just come into a supported semi-supine position as an alternative. If it doesn't feel right, then just do that. Now, initially this can feel uncomfortable. As you feel your body just beginning to settle and spread, you know that you're in the right place. Another option here is to bring the hands, just supporting the elbows on the floor, bring the hands lightly to the rib cage, and just feeling that grounding touch, expansion, retraction, the rib cage. Inhale, you exhale as a fan spread open and a fan close. Shoulders release, softening through the inner thighs. Softening of the facial muscles as we allow vulnerability of the front body, the opening of the heart space. We allow bands of tension to release. Allow chains of protection to dissolve. Few more breaths. And gently squeeze the pelvic floor. Inhale, press the elbows into the floor to draw the legs back in. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor and just walk the feet out. You can come to a supported constructive rest. So the inner knees just drop in towards each other to touch. So we're opening, now we're closing the hip joints. Let's take a moment there. So know there's no rush to come out of this. Squeeze the pelvic floor, allow the knees and ankles to come to neutral, parallel. Exhale, scooch the elbows back so you can do kind of a mini lift up. That's it. And then from that mini lift up, you can begin to bring the hands to the floor. From here, rather than coming straight up, just roll to one side so that you can slide your bricks and you can slide your bolster down towards the end of the mat. I'm going to use that shortly. And then just roll back down to semi-supine position so the spine is back in neutral. Let's pause there for a moment, take a breath. And allow the back to find its natural curves. And then from here, if you wish, on the inhale, you can gather the knees in just to release. From the back bend, we go into a forward bend. Maybe have a rock from side to side in Apanasana. Then we'll go into a spinal twist. So from here, you can either use bolster or bricks. I'm going to use bricks. Bring the bricks to one side, your left side, and on the exhale, just drop the knees down onto the bricks, or onto the floor if you prefer. Rest the head down and bring the left hand to rest on the outside of the right thigh. And then inhale, take the right arm out to the side on the diagonal and glide the head to look to the right side so you emerge in your spinal twist. Big inhale. Big exhale to release. And stay here, breathing, feeling. You feel that the back now has released more. It might be you slide the bricks from underneath the thighs or the bolster. Just see, you might choose to keep the support. Another thing you might choose to do is to slide a brick between the knees, which helps support the lower back. Let's keep the breath moving as we open out the vulnerable areas under the armpit and the lymphatic range. Where we can soften through the shoulders, particularly the right shoulder. And from here, squeeze the pelvic floor, secure the brick if you've used it. Inhale as you slowly come back to center. Just pause with the knees on the belly as you take hold of both bricks. You're going to transition those to the other side, or you might be using your bolster. Stack them up as you need to. And again, if you need to bring your feet down, that's fine. Like just do a little shift to the left. So you take your knees over to the right. Top hand can rest lightly on top of the thigh. And then inhale, glide the left arm out on the diagonal. Exhale, and direct the head. Big inhale, big exhale. Same with the breath. Allowing the breath to travel to any dark, tight corners. Softening and allowing. Being with sensation. Maybe sensation is different on this side. Just see. No judgment, just acceptance. Few more breaths. And again, squeeze the pelvic floor. Inhale, slowly, carefully, coming back to center. You need to bring the feet to the floor so you can have a look and just make sure your spine is aligned on the floor. And from here, we'll come to our final rest position. So you might slide your bolster in underneath the back of the knees. Scooch up your mat as you need to. You might support the head. Another nice option here is to bring the back of the hands onto the bricks so the wrists are elevated. Once you find a rest position that suits you, relax the ankles, soften the facial muscles, take a long inhale, exhale, allow the eyes to close, lips to close. Feel the gentle, natural breath through the nostrils. And as you rest, knowing rest is best, yin is definitely in. Allow yourself to sink into a deeper quietude, a place of harmony and well-being for a short time. Wish to rest longer, please do. Just hit the pause button. Otherwise, beginning to gently deepen the breath. As you rise towards the surface, bringing movements to fingers and toes. Head moving gently from side to side. And then on the inhale, taking a full body stretch. Big exhale as you soften and release. Inhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, and just walk the feet back onto the bolster if you've used it. Pause there a moment. Inhale, you may just float the ankles up. Bring the palms back open and down to a gentle viparita. Knees can be bent or straight. Just bring a few little circles to the ankles in the same direction. Pausing, exhale, a few little circles to the ankles in the other direction. And then just jiggle out the knees and the ankles. Inhale, bring the knees back in. Exhale as you just slide over to one side and pause there. Nice deep breath into the belly as we begin to close this gentle yin yoga practice. And then stretch out the top leg, keep the top hand down, and inhale as you lever yourself slowly up to comfortable seated. Take a few moments to feel grounded through the sitting bones as you sit tall. Lift in the heart space, lengthening, lifting through the crown of the head. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra. Connect with the heart space. Stay with the heart space. Take a long inhale. Om. And gently bow the head as we give thanks for our health and our practice. Inhale to lift the prayer hands up. Exhale to center. Namaste. So thank you for practicing with me. I hope you're feeling nicely centered and relaxed and unraveled. If you like the class, hit the like button. Do subscribe to the channel. Do catch up with me on Instagram for all of my yoga inspiration there. Details are below. And I shall see you soon.